This is Suspenders Unbuttoned, a podcast where friends talk with friends about TV, movies, and books. Hi, welcome to Suspenders Unbuttoned. We are excited to welcome Randy Thomas to the podcast.
Hi, Randy. Good evening, everybody. I said hi, Julie. How are you? How are you tonight?
How are you, Randy?
Doing fantastic. Now I'm going to ask a question that I know it's been asked 1,000 times, but I have to ask because I don't know the answer. Suspenders unbuttoned. What's with that?
Go, Sarah.
Suspenders. I always put suspenders.
Because I always take this one, so you take it this time.
We started out just as an Instagram account, actually, and we got to know each other out of the show Wing Calls the Heart, and we were Team Mountie, so Kevin McGarry, and he regularly has suspenders and is unbuttoned, right? Okay, So we started out with that, and then we wanted to expand out. And so then we stopped Hope Valley Suspenders and switched to Suspenders Unbuttoned because we also became a little more unbuttoned. We're a little not traditional in the way some other maybe accounts run their things. We have a little more fun, a little more unbuttoned.
That's good.
Right.
I'm just glad that they didn't wear tight lederhosen because then that would have been a weird name.
The lederhosen.
True. It sort of became a joke on our Instagram account, and we just ran with it.
I love it.
And it's like double meaning, so it's perfect because, like Julie said, we're just really informal. We go with the flow. We do whatever we want to do. We're not stuck to one thing. So here we are.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And we've been having a lot of fun talking about feeling butterflies. I'm sorry,
but maybe I'm not, maybe I'm impartial, but I really think that that's a very good movie.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah,
I did.
I loved it. Actually, I was texting Julie saying, like, I think this is better than The Wedding Veil. And I was really into The Wedding Veil because it was different. Obviously, we are also running Kevin McGarry fan group, so we're fans of Kevin's, and we were promoting that movie as well. But I just thought this one was really sweet and different, but still a typical Hallmark type of movie. But we got a lot of moments, like we got a lot of deep conversations and small moments that were kind of turned into bigger moments, and I appreciated that slower piece. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I agree. And as an actor, I can't help but be critical on certain things. So I'm always looking for gaps,
right,
or holes in the story where things just jumped way too far ahead. And I really was having a hard time going, that's good. Yeah, that's right there. That makes sense. It's totally logistical and everything, like that. Everybody knows that some of the butterflies were added in. I mean, like it looked beautiful.
Right.
It was beautiful.
It did.
And the colors, it was so bright. It was so, the characters' costumes and everybody was just so bright and full of love that we've been kind of missing through this whole COVID kind of thing, or I shouldn't say missing, but it's been a little darker during all that time for us. And to have that, I just love that life that was just so effervescent throughout the movie. I was just really happy to see that. Very, very happy for Marita that she was able to pull it off. And of course, all the actors as well.
Right. I agree. It was, of course, it was like that typical porny, Hallmarky movie in a sense of like, the plot, like is there really ever two butterfly battles? Like, things like that are just silly, but you accept it, right? But it had so much heart to it. And I think it was really kind of lovely to watch it, and I've watched it multiple times now, and the same thing, and not just because our favorite is on one of the stars of it, but I think the whole ensemble and, like you said, the colors and the feeling, it was just full of love.
And I think that's beautiful. Like that. And my mother taught me a lesson when I was young. She said, Randy, because I'd written a screenplay and I'd shot some short films that were a bit edgy. And my mother said, Randy, there's nothing wrong with a cowboy movie where the good guy wears the white hat, the bad guy wears the black hat, and I know the guy in the white hat's going to win. I'm just not sure how it happens, but as long as you make sure the white hat wins at the end, I'm a very happy viewer. So we know this movie delivered in that way. You knew it was coming. Everybody knew what was coming, and it paid off. And I think that's beautiful.
So when we watched your character, I love the way you brought the dad game on for this one. Your scenes with Kayla as Emily were just some of my favorites. And tell us a little bit about your character.
Yeah, originally the character was supposed to be a female. It was supposed to be her mother.
Wow.
And hope Marita doesn't get me in trouble for that. But it was supposed to be, and she just felt it was too one-sided. She said, we need another male character here. And she's worked with me and Ice Hotel 2, or I should say Baby's Cold Inside, and I love to play comedy whenever I can, and I just come off another Lifetime movie called Evil Stepmom, and where I played a father of 2 teenagers, and so her knowing that and knowing, listen, I just love to have fun on set, and I try to lighten things up, and I think that's why she said, Randy, you know what, I'm thinking about making this character the father as opposed to being the mother. And I said, hey, listen, every day on set's a good day. I said, I'd love to give it a shot and audition for you if I have to, or just bring something unique to the table. And we talked about it. And she said, well, let me get back to you on that. And then of course, eventually she called me back and said, yeah, we're going to go with it, Randy. So get your butt to Ottawa. And so it was beautiful. And so the relationship with Kayla, when I first met her, it was easy. It was easy in the sense that, it's funny, right? Like, let's face it, we're coming into a situation where we're new. We're going to pick up, like, again, we're pros, we can pick things up, but it's always nice when it's easy. And the fact that, like I said, when I mentioned on the podcast the other day, it was much easier for me because she could be my daughter. Mm-hmm. And if you look at my fiance, and my fiance said the same thing. She laughed. She said, yeah, she could be our daughter. Mm-hmm. And so that made it easy, but also made it emotional for me too, because I could see her, because I can play that was my fiance's and my daughter. So it was easy for me to get there where, again, I haven't experienced that yet, but, Kayla made it so easy. She's just a sweetheart. She just really is. She's just a wonderful young lady who's confident, intelligent. But she also has her insecurities, and to be able to find that as a father-daughter role, it was just beautiful. It was just, I like when I watched the movie, I was touched by it. Like, it got me watery-eyed because I'm watching us and I'm listening to our talking, and I keep thinking that they're going to cut the scene somewhere, right? Because scenes are written out, and sometimes the whole scene doesn't get used. They just we'll cut the section out of the middle or something like that. And it was just nice way Marita let us breathe through it all. Like, it wasn't rushed. It was and fun to make a nice corny cocoon joke at the end of our second scene together. And that's why I made a funny face, because I wanted to be that wah dad for that moment to lighten up that conversation we had, which I think a lot of fathers would do. And so
100%.
I give that feeling.
Kayla and my oldest son are like the exact same age, and my husband is that dad. And so I thought it was perfect. You and Kayla during that scene volley back and forth seemed so seamless. Was that easy to do?
It was with her. Like, again, I was talking to her, like, I was like, I get chills because I'm the thought of having that discussion with my daughter, about the only thing that might not have been exactly real would be the father pushing the daughter out.
Yeah, no.
When I listened to that line, I went, that's a mother line. That's not a father line. Father's where you're like, no, you stay home with me. Stay home with me. Let's cook. Let's bake, right? But no, it was beautiful. And again, it was just the love, just to be able to have that with her in that scene. And like you said, the way we volleyed, we just tossed the ball back and forth in our conversation. And honestly, I thought it was like, I thought that was seamless. Like, I really thought that looked like two people, father and daughter, having a conversation. And I bought it. And I'm pretty critical. Right. We're all critical of ourselves as actors, and look at a scene and we look at the flow, and then what kind of, progression are you making? How's it evolving? Are you taking it to that next, are you bringing that scene to the next stage of the story or the storyline? And we did. And so I was very happy. And again, I really don't have any major critiques about that film. Like, I was very happy with it. Absolutely. And again, Kayla was an angel, and it was great. It was great to work with all of them, and it's even great. It's funny. It's as actors in a scene, like you got Kevin, who's a rock star as well, and so for me, when in the kitchen when I'm with him, is that I'm confronting him, even though I'm joking around. It's man to man now, and it's that. It's your girl, but it's also my girl. Like in the movie, it's my girl, right?
The push pull.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as much as it's lighthearted in the movie, as actors, we'll get each other going. I wanted him to be maybe a little uncomfortable,
right.
but not uncomfortable, or not maliciously at all, but just slightly uncomfortable that this is either a dad or this is another dominant male figure in her life who has something to say. And so
we like that.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think that's actually, now that I think about it, that's also why Marita brought me in too. She wanted him to have some kind of male figure opposite him as well. In this, and that's the truth. That just came to me. That's true. That's one of the notes that she had given me when she brought me in. So
yeah, I love that. Those scenes were just fantastic. Sarah's back. Sarah's struggling with a little internet trouble today. So.
Oh boy, sorry about that, guys. This is the second.
It's all right. It's all right. I just figured you went to fill up your water bottle.
So Randy just finished us up talking about that scene at the end with Kevin. I have to say at the end though, I love that scene. You're going back and forth between Kayla and Kevin. Okay, so between Emily and Garrett, the back and forth and the facial expressions. Like, everyone's got a different facial expression. Like, how many times did you guys have to shoot that?
That was a great scene.
Well, it's like most scenes, right? First of all, we're on a tight timeline, so it's always going to be a master, and then Marita knows pretty much where, at what point in the scene, whose face needs to be on camera.
Right.
If I'm delivering a certain line, she wants a certain reaction, or she wants me to deliver it with the camera on. So we do it from everybody's point of view. But sometimes, to speed it up, we'll just say, listen, she'll say, I know I'm not using you on this POV. So we're not going to do your close up on that POV because just to save time, and that's just part of the business, right? And we're all like, we want the story to succeed. And again, like I said, this movie, again, from an editing point of view or anything like that, I didn't have anything where I went, what was that? Like, in some movies there are, like, you're like, why was that? And again, it was just it was just fun to play with them, and that scene there was the first time I've had that kind of fast banter running over. It was almost like Ryan, what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Ryan
Deadpool.
Gosling.
No, Ryan Reynolds, who plays Deadpool.
Oh, right, yeah,
He has that very, very fast, witty, on top of your speech. Or Vince Vaughn does that.
Yes,
right?
with Vince Vaughn. Yeah.
And that's really what that scene at the end really kind of was. And so, it worked out. It worked out. What I always think I could do better, absolutely I do. But I got no complaints. Like I said, this was a fantastic movie. When I watched it, or while I was watching it, I was just absolutely enthralled, and I thought it was great. And it's
the finish to that scene. The finish to the scene was perfect because like Kayla grabs Kevin's hand, so Emily's grabbing Garrett's hand, is like storming out the side. I'm like, that is it. That's
exactly what a teenage girl would do.
Well, not a young adult. She's a young adult. No, that is my kids are very much in that age, and I'm like, oh, that is nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, I very much remember being embarrassed by my dad, right? Like, I don't know if he was quite that bad, but I could relate. And then the look on that Kayla gave Emily was just hysterical, because I'm like, that is so spot on to how everybody would be feeling if their dad was just like totally outing them.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was a great scene.
No, it was. And it's fun to play comedy or play humor or find the humor.
Right.
And I try to do that a lot, especially in the Hallmark movies and the movies of the week that I do and stuff like that. I always try to find the humor, because you can't laugh too much.
Right? So your scenes often revolved around food. Did you ever do anything with the food? I feel like
I mentioned I mentioned previously that we weren't allowed to eat it, and there was some of the food you were allowed to eat after, but that was after it was done, or there would be certain things that you were allowed to eat, like some of the watermelon sticks and stuff like that. But the thing to understand is that every time you do something, you either have to repeat it, or you got to make sure that the food gets put back again in the same way with a brand new hamburger or a brand new whatever on every scene. And sometimes it's tough to eat 3 hamburgers in an hour if you're really mowing down on it for real, and you're being, oh my god, by the end of it you're like, when we do stuff like that for commercials, I haven't done one in a while, but like when actors would do McDonald's commercial or things like that, they always spit it out. I bet. So were the hamburgers real? Oh yeah, they were. And I don't know if you caught that right at the end. Like I was sitting there, and again, I'm always trying to find something different to do. And like I said, Marita will let me play, and then sometimes she'll just go, Randy, no, I don't like that. Don't do that. But I was flipping the hamburger. I was throwing it up in the air, catching it on the spatula. And then I was getting pretty good, and I was doing 2 at a time, like throwing them up and catching them both. And I thought I had done it at the beginning of the scene to kick off the scene. The barbecue scene was going to be essentially me flipping a burger and then pull back, and you see everybody there. That didn't happen. But if you notice, right at the end of the barbecue scene, the last second, you see me in the background throwing the burger up and catching it on. And I was like, yes,
it made it.
Nailed it.
It made it.
Little games you play, right? No, but it's just trying to make something more interesting. Like, you notice how beautiful it was to see Alyssa when they were having their moment in the field, and then she's running around the net trying to catch butterflies. And those are the little added on things that experienced directors like Marita and that will instruct an actor or an actress to do, or hopefully even that's why I try to bring something different to add it to the scene, even though it's not mentioned. I'll do it in the background. I'll wait for somebody to tell me stop it or do it again or do it better or something like that, because it adds those little nuances. And if you look at
Right.
sometimes, if you watch the film again, watch the background things that are going on.
Right.
And you notice that the nuances that are beautiful. Like, again, from the pieces of art. I mean, I love those Andy Warhol-esque paintings of Mandy. Like that's awesome. Catherine's a fantastic young lady, and when I saw those paintings, I just started to roar. I was just standing there, just dying. And Rita had shown me that. She was laughing. She thought it was great, and it was. It was, again, those are the little things that you don't have to do, but it comes out in the end in a product that you can't, like you can't say, oh, look, it was that. It's a whole lot of those little things that add on to something that seems normal, but makes it a little touch.
Right. It really kind of helps you feel like you know that character.
Yes.
At a different level, right? Like even wardrobe, we've learned from just doing this podcast how important the wardrobe people are, because they're really tying the entire thing together. And it's so interesting to me.
Well, the little things, and it's some things will be funny, and I see Amanda Moon High wrote a comment about how the dramatic scenes were well done as well, and I think I agree, and I think that in a movie sometimes you need time to breathe. You can't be laughing the whole time. You can't be crying the whole time. You need a bit of a roller coaster and time to take your breath and come back to the story and move and evolve with these characters. And I think Maria and the actors, but Maria did a great job in guiding the ship for sure. And
I think some of the honesty in this movie was great. Between Larry and Emily, they certainly had some honesty, but the moments to push each other, and then we saw that come out with Garrett and Emily too, brings a lot more depth to some of these movies. You got your 2-hour frame, and this one just had a lot of that, like, side by side talking it out. You knew where they were at in their relationship. I feel like as an actor, is that more fun to play?
Yeah, it is. And like you get surprises sometimes, right? Like I think it was on the day we were filming it. Maria goes, "By the way, Randy, her ex-boyfriend's name is Randy."
I saw that.
Randy. Oh, that Randy. Won't commit. What I'm saying? I have a couple ex-girlfriends that might say that, but
whatever.
No, but it's beautiful. Those are the fun moments. Yeah, it's special. It's special to be able to do what we do, and then to be able to. That's why I love talking to you. It's just be able to share that. Look at that, Sheila Calloway. I like the sun comment at the end. Yeah, you caught that.
Yeah.
One moment with Garrett where I was just, you do that, son.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sheila catches everything. She's our resident expert, I guess, in all things Hallmark.
Yeah, Sheila, she knows everything.
Yeah. Shout out to Sheila, as always.
Yeah.
Angie's saying that made her laugh because her ex was Randy, so that was funny.
Yes.
You played a great dad.
Yes, like I said, that was dropped on me, I think, on the day that Marita did that to me. That was funny. I was like, okay.
You got to do something fun when you're coming to work every day, right?
Yeah, and again, it the other moment that made me well up when I was watching the movie, because we had shot that like almost a year ago now, or at least I'm trying to think. Almost a year. And for me to, it was in the summer actually. For me to have that moment with Kayla, where if you saw it quickly, I was welling up on that when I said, no, he's the one. You did nothing. I think I said, no, you did not. He's the one. And I was starting to cry, and Marita we went back to Kayla's point of view, and then we came back to mine, and I was breathing through it. But it was, it was some good moments there that I had forgotten about, and I was very pleasantly surprised to watch. And I didn't cut the ends of my fingers off or anything like that, so I was good. But I diced a lot of cucumber that day.
I think we got
cucumber.
we did get one question about how did you make lemon loaf or whatever it was with like onions and like
out of
there's
onions
like
and
potatoes and onions or something, and you're making
Yeah,
lemon.
it was deeper in the bag. But I thought there was a bowl of fruit or of lemons or something. It might have been moved away from the shot because if it drew, because just to set up a table like that takes, time. And then then Marita gets her angles, and if we have to see, is there anything that's drawing too much attention away, or does it look enormous if the bowl of, if a pineapple or something is 2 feet in front of me on the counter, it looks like it's a pineapple. And it's, you have to make these adjustments along the way, and some things get taken out of the shot just for that simple reason. It might have been too bright. It might have been, taking away from Kayla. Like Kayla being the star. Understand that everything in that movie serves Kayla.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's my job. Is to portray a character that moves the storyline forward to help her achieve her goal at the end.
Right.
And
So
that's
true.
all of it. That's all. That's that was all of our jobs, to support that loving couple, help push them together or bring them together.
And I thought Kayla really brought it. She did a great job.
She was absolutely fantastic. Again, I was watching that movie and I thought, what a star, what a beautiful young lady, and again, intelligent and classy and easy to work with, like super easy to work with. And not everybody is. That's just reality. Sometimes personalities don't click. And I think that's why when you hear Marita talk about how she has a certain entourage, that especially when she's working with, like, for instance, that was her first time working with Kayla. So she didn't know at first what she thought she knew what she was going to get, and she was taking Garrett's word for it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so because for the team, she also wants to surround herself with people she knows exactly what she's going to get too, right?
Yeah.
So there's always a combination of hiring the best actor for the role, but there's also times where the best actor is somebody that you can count on,
Right?
Like in life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right, because it's really a team. It's not just about who the star is in the movie. It's the whole team. So
Absolutely. And Fireside Productions out of Ottawa, they're just fabulous. Like they know their game, and they Sarah, the wardrobe, and then all the prop department and everything like that, they pull it all together. And they've worked with us. I've worked with them many times, so they know me. They know what sizes I lie about, and they're all good. Yes, I'm 6'4". Yes. Yes, Randy, of course you are. Here's your 42 regular. It's
if you're 6'4", then Kevin is like 7 feet.
I know. That's where was I? Well, that's why I like the barbecue scene. I'm up on the patio, he's on the lawn.
I know you get to be like the intimidating dad when you're up high.
Listen, I'm 5'10", but I've had to stand on an apple box before in a certain situation, or and it's all, you always get teased about those little things you tease lovingly amongst actors. Like it's just a reality. You just can't have. And anyway, it's all part of the fun.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah.
And the magic.
5'10" is really tall to me. So.
That what? Sorry.
I said 5'10" is very tall to me. So.
Well, there you go. So yeah. No, but it's like that. Some shows are cast tall, so they won't even look at actors who are 5'10" or under, because the girls are all 5'8" and 5'9". If you put heels on them, it's over. Like I can't,
Right.
I have no problem with it, but traditional television has a problem with the man not being as tall as the woman, and especially if
Yeah.
they're a couple.
It's fascinating, all this stuff you don't think about.
Oh,
when you're just a viewer.
about 20 years ago, I was auditioning for a Hollywood movie. The director was Tony Goldwyn, and he wanted to cast me as the LA Star's boyfriend.
Mhm.
And I'm jogging in the park. I jog up to her beside her and start talking to her. And her agent wouldn't have anything to do with it because I wasn't taller than her.
Wow.
And Tony Gold, and on that night, I got cast by Tony Goldwyn. So the casting director called me, said, "Congratulations." I get called back, and they say, "Randy, it was my agent, Randy. I'm sorry, I got to tell you that there's a problem, and you're not as tall as the lead female." And then I get called back that I have it. And that happened 3 times before my agent finally called me and said, "Randy, don't answer the phone unless it's me."
Yeah.
Because I got to figure this out, because I got cast on cast. And it was just LA. Like, the director wanted me. Tony Goldwyn was directing that film. But the powers that be, there was a group of them that wanted no part of that, because it's not that traditional. That's just business. That just happens. So that's what I was saying. Some shows are very tall, and they have tall people, and other shows are shorter cast depending on who the leads are, and therefore they do the opposite. They're trying to get people to, because if everybody's the same height or the same age looking, then
it's boring. Yeah.
So
it's not as visually.
I wouldn't bore you with that, but
no, but I know what you mean. Stuff. Like, they want it to be visually pleasing.
Right. Yeah, they do, and it just depends on the movie and the times. Like, again, there's so many things that determine whether or not you get a role. It's and that's why it's always a blessing when you do. And when I'm, I can say I'm very blessed to have somebody like Marita that believes in me, and just like Kevin can say that, because they've worked together a lot. And we're blessed to have somebody like Marita in our corner. And I think that was beautiful for Kayla to have her lead in this movie, and I think it was beautiful that Kevin was there for her, and it worked extremely well. I thought it worked extremely well. The chemistry was there, and that's always a worry, because sometimes that works, and for some couples that wouldn't work. And so it was just beautiful to see those two professionals able to separate what they needed to separate from, in order to make that on-screen couple come to life and grow together to become one, which we all know they are. So it was a big hats off to both of them for that.
Yeah, it's been lovely to watch Kayla shine. We've had her on twice. We had her on a podcast, and then we did a live with them. And we love watching these actors grow and develop and become something more. So, what got you into acting? How did you start into acting?
My first dream was to be a professional soccer player.
Yeah.
And then I got hurt during my professional tryout, the week of, actually. I was training for, and this is back in 1991 in the old Canadian Soccer League. And then I was, at the same time, I was in university for business. And I grew up in the era of Top Gun.
Yeah.
And so that's always been one of my favorite movies. And I don't follow his personal life, but from a professional point of view, Tom Cruise, I think, has done a lot of great things. And,
of course.
And with Top Gun, I remember watching that going, I could do that. But being from Atlantic Canada, that opportunity just really isn't there to pursue acting. And at that time, there was no internet, so there was no way to learn online or even to just explore. So it was either community theater or musicals in my high school, but I didn't sing at the time, and I still don't sing. So that just was more of a lofty dream that just was not going to happen. And then when I was 26, I said, I think I'm going to give this a shot. And I went to just before I moved to Montreal to pursue a career in acting, I went and competed down in Long Branch, New Jersey for the Mr. North America pageant.
Okay. I saw that on your Instagram.
And I was the first runner-up.
Okay.
I on the final question, I broke the time limit for speaking, kind of like what I'm doing now. And so I ended up finishing second, first runner-up, and it was a great experience. Then I moved to Montreal with a blank piece of paper as a resume, and just started taking the acting classes. And one thing led to another, and here I am.
So what was your first role?
My very first role, and this is funny. This is how the business is so funny. I came back from Christmas, and it was January, and I had 3 auditions in the second week of January. I'll never forget this. And that would have been 1999, I think. And I had 3 auditions, and I landed 2 of them. It was one for a show called Misguided Angels with Chris Farley's brother as one of the leads, and Dave Lipper. And then the other one was The Adventures of Jules Verne.
Oh.
And I remember landing both of those and just thinking, Hollywood, here I come. Like this, like, when you land 2 out of 3 and you're just really just starting into a new year, and they're both union projects, and it's just like, and at that time, those are both network TV shows. Yeah, actually. Yeah. So it was like,
big time.
So anyway, I didn't book another role for 8 months.
Yes.
So I learned lessons along the way. Learned a lot of lessons along the way. But yeah, Jules Verne and Misguided Angels were my first 2 credits. I believe I have them on my YouTube page. If anyone wants to go look for them, you just Google that, you'll find them. Okay. And if you want them badly enough, I could. I think I copied the VHS. It's a bad copy of the Misguided Angels one, but I die in that Jules Verne episode, right? I get bitten by a spider and I die. And
oh gosh, well, what a first role!
Yeah,
you have to die.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. When I was younger, both those roles, I'm flirting with one of the leads, and so I'm flirting with the lead from Misguided Angels, and then Farley's brother and Dave Lipper, 2 other angels come over and start teasing her because I'm flirting with her, and then that's the end of my scene. That's the end of my day on Misguided Angels, and the same thing on Jules Verne. I'm flirting with the lead, and then after that, I get bitten by a spider and I die. And anyway, just yeah.
Perfect. So, what makes you say yes or no to a role?
I would rarely say no, just because roles are hard to come by. So many until you get to a certain point, you're usually not saying no.
Okay.
I would say no to anything that would probably have anything to do with being a child molester or a rapist or anything like that. I'd probably take a hard no on that, unless somewhere the story was meant to bring light to a situation in a in the end it would be something positive to create awareness, but even then that would be very hard for me. That would be like I said, it would have to be I'm working with major stars. It would have to be
serve a purpose, kind of.
Pardon me?
Like serve a purpose.
Oh, absolutely. It would have to, especially if I'm playing a character that's very despicable. And I'm not gonna lie, I love what's building with Hallmark. And so for me, I want to respect that. And everybody knows that I'm an actor, but also too, I think there are certain limits that you can take, because if you portray a certain character, like good or bad, you might never work again. I mean, you don't know, but look at somebody like John Travolta, right? He does Grease and Saturday Night Fever, and he was unhireable because number one, they couldn't pay him, and number two, everybody just wanted to see him dance in the same kind of role, and No, but if you think back in his career, that's really what happened. And what really revitalized John Travolta's career
Pulp
was
Fiction.
Quentin Tarantino offering him a role in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that was crazy actually at the time.
And
it was like mind-blowing.
Yeah, he admits that. Well, no, but it was just, that's the way the business works. And we'll look at, respectfully to Ted Levine. I played it, my very first role when I moved to Toronto. Oh no, my very first role in Toronto, I was living in Montreal at the time, was I was playing a streaker on Monk, the series Monk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the episode with Willie Nelson in it. It's called some with the redheaded stranger. Anyway, my point is that Ted Levine, he's the one who plays Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's done a lot of voice work, but after that, Silence of the Lambs, he played such an iconic, unfortunately crazy character that maybe I'm wrong, but that also stereotypes you, like you created such a memorable character that you can't escape from, because so I think there are times in your career as an actor you need to take strong consideration of. And I have actually said no to a role in another movie a week with another company that bordered on inappropriate. That's being polite. And because my agent just said to me, Randy, you're doing so well right now with Hallmark and some other Lifetime movies that I don't think you should touch this one. And we didn't, and again, I'm no multi-millionaire actor here. Like, to turn down work is a big deal. Like, but it's like sometimes you got to think long term and how you wish to be portrayed. What do I want? What do I want? Like, again, I love doing these Hallmark movies, and I've said that, like, off the top, people know that they're a certain genre, Hallmark, and there's certain style. It's a certain style of movie, and you're neither too devastated or too. You're in a space that's loving and warm, and family and romance, and it's beautiful. And again, I love playing in this space. So I'm not going to do something where for a paycheck that's going to taint me.
Right.
It's tough. But.
Yeah, I think I love your mom's point of view there. I know it's going to be the white hat. I just don't know how it's going to get from A to B, and that's what I want to see. Right.
Yep.
I think that's what a lot of people want to see. Like, we're not always into shows or movies for the shock value or for, like, the suspense of it. Sometimes you really just want to watch something unfold that's going to be beautiful, even if there's lots of bumps in the road and confusion, but you kind of want to know where you're going to end up. Yep.
Yeah, and scripts are written to entice a reaction from you, right? It might be something where you're going to say, you would never say that, or why did they just do this? This would be so simple. But you got to understand that it's also written that way to get you to do that, get you to yell at the screen. What are you doing? Kiss her, kiss her.
Right.
Right. No,
but I think you want that reaction.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, Julie.
So I think that, the reason people often tune into something where that the white hat's going to get here, just don't know where, is there's a lot of uncertainty. And sometimes when you choose viewing as a viewer, you're not there for the shock value. You maybe have shock in your life that is making things, makes you want to choose what you're watching, to have some choice in your entertainment. And so, like, as a viewer, we really appreciate that option.
Yeah, no, and that's it. Like, and if you get up and you walk away for a few minutes, you're not going to feel like you just missed an incredibly important, minutiae piece of information that now ruins the rest of the episode or the rest of the movie. It's or if your children walk in the room, you're comfortable. You're not worried about them going to be shocked or scared to go to bed, or there's times. Again, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with knowing the outcome sometimes.
Right.
Let's go on the ride and see what kind of how creative they can be to take us there, right? I mean,
right. And I think that there's just such a time and a place for both
Yeah.
kinds of entertainment. And I think with what's been happening the past few years in the world with the, the pandemic and all that, like people are finding such comfort in the Hallmark and Hallmark type movies
Yes.
and shows. I just think it's really become even more meaningful than it used to be.
I agree, because there are people that have felt. Some people have said the opposite, that it's a dying trend. I go, it's not. No, it's not. It's like, who doesn't watch Home Alone at Christmas time, right? Like,
Right.
like
Right.
who doesn't?
Right.
Like, and again, it's about bringing, these movies. That's why I always try to bring humor, because I know that if I'm playing the lead, which would be rare if I'm to play the lead in a Hallmark movie because of my age, my character, then I'm always going to search for the humor and
Right.
and try to add something, bring something out of those other actors that's going to make them smile. Because something that I always love looking for when I watch a movie is when I really see them laugh. Like
Right.
when you see kind of like Julia Roberts with the ring, with the necklace box and Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was honest. That just can't. She can't fake that.
Right.
Right.
Like he got her, and
Yep.
she just lost. Like, it was so beautiful. It was just an unforgettable moment. And those are the kind of moments you'd like to be able to create with actors. And I love to be able to do that. It doesn't always have to be funny. It could be loving. It could be whatever. I mean, you have to be respectful, because you can't just come right out of left field somewhere and do something or say something absolutely just to throw the other actor off. You don't want to do that, but you do like to push them. You do want to be there for them. That I think that's why Kayla and I played so well off each other, was that she was so open and trusting with me, and I was with her. And as the father, I felt, that's why the line, you hear the dialogue is just so bam, 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 and then there'd be pause, and then but then it just goes. It was just so, like, that's one of my favorite scenes in probably my career, like, just because of how honest it was. Like, it was just beautiful. Yeah,
I love that. Angie in the comments says, I would like to see an actor like you as a lead.
Older, you can say older. I see it there. You can say older.
I was just going to bring that up too.
I'm just saying, how about a normal person? You are a normal person, and people of all ages fall in love. And
I've had my heart broken. Everybody has.
Right.
And I think that makes for, I agree with Angie. I would love to see, Hallmark has now gone into the murder mysteries and all those kind of things, right? Like, I did the Matchmaker mysteries with Danica McKellar, and and up until that point, it was like a big joke, and anybody who marries me dies. I'm either a widower or my wife dies. It just seems to be a crazy thing, because I'm at the lower end of the father scale age, right? But I'm higher than, I'm older than the lead role, right? Like, I'm probably 15 years older than Kevin, and probably similar, at least that, to Kayla, at least. So you know what I mean? So I'm in that middle zone.
Kayla's a baby. She's like 28.
Yeah, exactly. So and I agree with Ange. I think it would make it, and I've honestly thought about writing them.
I think you should
do it. Make it happen.
As a Hallmark actor, and say, I'm going to start writing romances for our generation that are honest, that people who have been divorced and have children, and bring in two families together, maybe, that both have children, and those kind of inspirational situations that are hey, like,
let's be honest, there's not, like, Hallmark's viewers are not all in their 20s. I mean,
Right.
most of us are older than that.
Yeah.
So I think it would be it's important to show
Yeah.
that.
Well, listen, I'm a better man now than I was 20 years ago. No question.
Of course. Yeah, we all
And
are.
I would wager a guess that you're probably better women than you were 20 years ago because of our maturity and our experiences in life and be able to deal with people and things that we've gone through. And so, yeah, I think there's definitely a market there. So that's it. Starting now, we're going to do it.
Okay, let's write this script. Let's get it done, right?
Yes, that's right. I'll collaborate with everybody.
It brings a different point. It would bring a different point of view.
Well, I think it's very reflective of the society nowadays, right? Because fewer people are getting married when they're young,
right?
And there are fewer children. Mm-hmm. So technically, we are the majority right now. I think.
Correct. Also, as a Gen Xer, can we use Gen X music? Because our music's the best. Because bring some good music.
I agree.
Right?
I agree totally. Just have to see what the rights on these songs, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Like bring in some Genesis or.
Yeah.
Right.
I love the promos that people were making. Well, I love the promos that people were making for this movie with Mariah Carey's Butterfly and stuff. And I'm going, but I don't think that's going to be in the movie. I'll be very shocked. I don't.
we used a few. Michael Jackson's Butterfly. Who else did we? We used a few of them, but you're right.
The country star. I can't remember. Casey something.
Right. Amanda Jordan, who plays the bride, the bridezilla.
Yeah.
She's actually a singer. That's her deal.
Well, and see, this is something I wish, like, and I'm not slanting on anybody, but this movie should have had one of her songs in it.
Should have had I Choose You in it. Should have had I Choose You in it. It would have been perfect.
You just tell her agent to calm down. This movie, your song will go down in history. Just allow it to be put in. Don't ask for a ridiculous amount of money or anything like that. Just be fair. Let's. I think they should do that. I mean, I would if I was a producer. I'd take every opportunity to do that. Bring young artists into the foray that that are going to truly also benefit from this exposure. And then have Hallmark's top 10 songs of the year from different movies that are original pieces.
I mean, it could be a whole thing, right? I mean, I didn't realize until the Wedding Veil movies, and they had Todd Carey's song in it, and I realized how big of an impact the music actually does make in a film. And most of the time, I notice it like in the Hallmark Christmas movies, and I'm like, this is like the worst song ever. It's so bad. But having good music really, even if you have like one good piece in a film, like that just kind of impacts something, a special moment. I mean, it really changes, it levels it up, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Everybody loves a love song.
Right. Everyone. And Amanda Jordan has I Choose You, and it's beautiful. I'm like, that should have been in that movie. It's fantastic.
I wonder if she couldn't though, because it was on The Bachelor. So I wonder if there was like a thing.
That could be.
That's possible. Angie, you're making me blush with all these wonderful comments. You're saying that you'd watch me as a lead. Well, thank you. That's so kind.
Kayla is not 33.
No, she's not 33. It's 28. 28 on her cake. So
say that again, sorry.
I'm just reading.
Yeah, Kayla's cake said 28 on it. Her birthday's on Halloween, as a fun fact.
Oh, okay, there you go. Speaking of The Bachelor, I auditioned for the host of The Bachelor Canada.
You did?
A couple weeks ago. I don't know. That's typically a non-union show, so I doubt that they're going to go my way. Even not saying that I was the guy that they would have picked, but if they did want to work with me, it'd be a little more difficult because a lot of reality television shows are typically non-union. So,
fun facts. Fun facts.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
No, absolutely. It's not non-union. In Canada, it's ACTRA, and in the States it's SAG.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, you know, you can be both actor and SAG if you have your working papers and you work in both countries. But in Canada, especially, you can't work on a non-union show if you're a union member, which I am. And the same goes for voice or anything, or commercials. Same thing. Same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. And humor, I never thought of myself as a comedic actor before. But I realized when I look back on my career, most of my career highlights have been comedy. And the episode of Monk where I play, and this is funny. This is how much Toronto has evolved in 20 years. When I got a call from my agent back then. I'm in Montreal. They're in Toronto. They said, Randy, I have a direct offer for you if you're willing to do it. It's for the series Monk. And said, but you're a streaker. And I was young and buff. And, and I said, do I have scenes with the leads? And they go, yes. So as soon as they tell me that, I know they can't cut my scenes out.
Right.
Because back in the day, they would bait actors by saying, you know, there might be some foul language or some nudity, whatever, but it's a good role because you have scenes with leads. And then all of a sudden you do the scene and then they cut out the rest of the scenes and you're stuck with the scene that you really didn't want.
Right.
Well, that wasn't going to be the case. And of course, I really wasn't nude. I was covered, of course. But I brought comedy to the role instead of making it a streaker, because if you look into the psychology of why a streaker streaks, it's never about how they look. It's about politics or whatever they're trying to make a statement about. And it's never about their physical self. So I brought comedy to the role as opposed to just trotting along as if I'm really proud. And so I had a blast being absolutely silly. And at that time, the actors who were playing the cops that were chasing me, a couple of them had said, we turned down the role and we're going to kick ourselves for the rest of our lives because you made this funny, as opposed to, and again, that's again what I'm trying to say about trying to find humor or understand where your place is in the story. Like, what's this guy? What can I bring to this that's going to add value so that they either want to keep bringing me back or want to keep working with you? Or it's fun. And that's why, again, with these movies here, Lillian is asking, comedy more difficult than drama. Absolutely, it is. It's because a lot of times comedy is about timing.
Right.
You know, like when I did the other movie with Marita, Ice Hotel. Baby, It's Cold Inside, the second Ice Hotel one. You know, she's excited and she sticks a toffee thing in my hat, and you know, it's all about me looking up, and I'm this French reviewer, and this guy again. It's finding the moments, and sometimes the comedy is just in the writing, where you just have to do it. You know, you look at some actors in their scenes, or it's just doing nothing and just staring straight ahead is hilarious because of the situation, right?
Right.
Again, yeah, it's a fine balance. It's comedy, and it amazes me that if you think about it, there's no Oscar for comedians.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
How does Jim Carrey not have an Oscar for pick one of his movies, like, or Robin Williams, or all these great comedians, Chris Farley, but the Oscars, no, there's nothing. There's nothing for comedy, and which is odd, you know. So,
right, because it is such a skill to have, right? Like you said, the timing, the pacing, and all that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people in your lives who who are very witty and they're funny. They're just their tone of voice. But if you put them up at a comedy club, they'd be terrible, right? Because it wouldn't be funny at all. Because that's a skill on its own. I did that once in university, and I got massacred, and I never did it again. but I've emceed many things where my friends would say, "It's too bad you weren't like that when you did your stand-up comedy." Well, no, it's a whole different medium. And that's the same thing with drama versus comedy versus, like I said, Hallmark is a genre on its own. Like understanding, like how many times people kiss in a Hallmark movie. You know how many times they almost kiss. It's always if you look on YouTube and you see the spoofs or the comedic videos that people make regarding it's always chopping wood or something like that, and it's a professional girl from the big city who gets pulled back home. I know, but it's fun. But again, hey, the white hat and the black hat, right? So it's okay. It's all okay. It's beautiful, and but you gotta have fun. If you can't have fun, why are we doing it, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so. I wanted to say something else about that. About Ish, who wasn't who plays Kayla's business partner. He's a great guy. I've done a couple movies with him actually as well, and he's a great guy to work off. I mean, he's just a funny, easy-go-lucky guy. It's too bad he wasn't on the podcast the other day, but he's just a great fella. He's just another great guy to work with, and I see why. Marita would bring him back because just easy. Yeah.
I love that many of you had worked together on different projects.
Well, look at any movies you watch coming out of Hollywood. Look how many series and movies. Like it almost maddens me that it seems like the same 10 stars play every one of the superheroes. It's a little annoying sometimes. It's like I'm like, hold on a second, you're in Batman, now you're over here in Iron Man. Like what? You're breaking my line of believability here.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's people work, and if you think about it, it's just like life and in business and family and friends. You like to be around people, right? You make you feel good, who are fun to be around, easy to work with. And that's for any profession.
Right.
Acting is no different.
Yeah. I mean, my team at work is everything. Like when my A team is on, we can literally save the world. Like so I have a lot, that working group as everyone ups their game when the top people are on.
That's right. And when the money's on the line or when the game's on the line, you want your top people around. You want to be surrounded by people that you trust. And Sheila, thank you, Sheila, for commenting on my character in Baby It's Cold Inside, because I wasn't cast going to get that role. I think Marita actually had it already planned for another one of her favorites. And I had an audition, and I made my audition, and it was hilarious. And but she admitted it to me. She said, I thought I had this role cast. She goes, and I had to tell them no, because you were just too funny. Oh, and also too, in fairness, it was also the French accent, because I do speak French, so it was easier for me to play the accent. And in that movie, they actually got me to tone it down, because they said people will forget that you're actually French because of the tone of my voice in English. And so Marita, a couple times during the movie, she said, "Randy, I need you to break it here. Like, you need to break character here, because technically speaking, in Baby It's Cold Inside, I would have walked in. I spoke in English to the front desk girl, and then I broke character to speak to Jocelyn Houdon, the lead, with my French accent. And then technically, I shouldn't have spoken with an accent again until the end of the movie. But Marita was concerned that people would forget who I was. So it's kind of like the running gag in that movie so I had to take it from a different point of view, and I had a perspective, and I had to say to myself, it's okay that everybody knows who I really am, but I'm going to play the charade anyway, because I'm just this French guy who really does want to be treated special. He does, he's trying to act like he wants to be normal, but no, don't forget who I am. I want to be treated special. I want to play. I want the finest wine. So as opposed to being the guy who's totally undercover, I'm selling it. I'm taking it to my grave. I am a English-speaking American that, is just here, happens to be here. No. So once she told me I had to break character a few times, then that changed the comedy of it to become where I became what's the intelligent fool or something like that. That fine, don't forget who I am, but I'll pretend anyway. I'm gonna, which makes the charade kind of silly, but it was fun. I had a blast playing that character as well. And again, the dad too. It's just different. It's that I don't have an accent. I'm putting my foot in my mouth or embarrassing Kayla and but again, having those heartfelt moments as well. So finding that balance where people would say, yeah, that's, her dad's a little silly, or he opens his mouth a little bit too much, but then the moments when it needed to be, the connection was there. And so, thank you for going on that ride with me, allowing me to bend reality a little bit to have some fun and play that character, and yet still be able to be a strong father when I needed to be, which that was very special.
Yeah, it really showed too on screen.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna make sure I don't miss anybody else's questions here. Yeah.
It's a lot of that they like it.
Yeah. Stephanie says you were funny, sweet, and connected. That's good balance.
Thank you. Yeah. And again, Kayla gets just as much, if not more, credit than I do for that. She just was easy to work with, and that's true. And that's the other thing to understand too about being a lead in a movie is quite a responsibility, because you have more dialogue than anybody, but you also need to be there for everybody. So you are probably the most prepared, because your things can change every day. Like there's always something that'll change for you, your script, or a dialogue, or something gets missed in the dialogue from the day before, and they go, we need to fix this because we didn't establish this. Like things get paid off in a script, right? Something gets mentioned early in the script, then it gets paid off later. Right. And so if you miss that, so there are times when the lead script changes, or somebody or mine or where they say this, and we gotta pay this off, or we have to mention this now because it's coming up later for everybody else. So, and again, for Kayla, I'm not sure if that was her first lead. Was that her first lead?
No,
it was her first Hallmark, but she had done the Up Christmas movie this past Christmas. Snowed in for Christmas. Yeah.
And listen, there is a big difference between number 1 on the call sheet and number 3 on the call sheet, right? Like 1 and 2 are in Hallmark are the couple eventually, right? And then everybody else, again, we play an important role, but again, to lead, it really is the lead, and she did a great job.
Yeah.
With that. And with Kevin at her side, and she was fantastic. So bravo! I'm sure she's going to do a lot more.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more from Kayla for sure. Yeah. So speaking of more, do you have any projects that are coming up or things in the works?
Well, I just had a small part in Moonfall, that American movie that came out about a month or 2 ago.
Okay.
That was, again, and it's funny, people, I'll mention this. I loved, working with Roland Emmerich, and, it's a big Hollywood picture. Like imagine, I'll compare it to weddings. You go to a wedding with 50 people, right? With a modest budget. And then all of a sudden you show up at a 400 person wedding and they have all the money in the world, and it's just caviar and champagne, right? Well, that's like being on and this is no disrespect to like any kind of production, but the budget of a typical Hallmark movie is a couple $1 million, and the Roland Emmerich movie Moonfall is $100 million, right? So, but I enjoy doing the Hallmark movies because I play a more important role in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoyed the big blockbuster, but I'm in and out of there in a day.
Right.
So unless you're Halle Berry or you're in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I love with the Hallmark movies is I get to play and have fun and play a more important role into the storyline and find you have these moments like I did with Kayla and with Kevin and the barbecue and those kind of things and it makes it quite special. And actually what I do have coming up is I'm filming a pilot at the end of next month for a comedy series.
Really?
That's exciting.
Yeah, where I play the kind of guy that was kind of like a mafioso, but it's a comedy kind of guy where he's a comedic character, but he's an old time mafia guy that probably watches only The Godfather and like those
I love it.
So yeah, and I have a daughter in this one as well. So the daughter is the lead, and my character is her second. I'm the second character. I'm the number 2 on the sheet on the series, and so yeah, it's again a father-daughter in a little bit more outrageous of a scenario. Than a Hallmark, but again, I just love playing the comedy, and again, I love, like I said, I love doing the Hallmark, playing Hallmark movies and Lifetime movies and movies of the week, and again, that's I get to have a lot more fun and be able to settle into things where, like I said, it was just, again, I loved my fiance came to me for my fitting. So she was quickly at a fitting for a movie the week I did. And then she came to my fitting for Moonfall. And Moonfall was like thousands of dollars suits, $500, $1,000 pair of glasses. My shoes were $1,000. Like everything's just like ridiculous money. And they had a whole team of people with the hairdressers standing there. He was French and just, I don't know. And then there's this Hugo Boss suit that's $2,000. And he goes, hem that one anyway. That's his backup in case we have a problem with color. But it's like it's ruined. Like it's done. Like they're taking it in everywhere. But because they have unlimited money. Unlimited money. And again, it's interesting. But like then she watches my scene on Moonfall and she goes, your fitting was longer than your scene. Like, oh yeah.
Thank you for that point of view.
No, but it just, again, the craziness of the business is just so. But again, it's every day on set. It's a beautiful day, and like I said, I'm sorry if I'm rambling on here. I'm just having fun with you, and I just
we love the conversation. So
I love to be able to share that with you. I think I'm getting. Oh yeah, whose phone might die?
Oh, that's me. If I cut out, it's because my phone dies.
Yeah, no. So yeah, please, anybody has questions, please speak. Like ask me anything you want.
Had any other ones? So somebody had asked, what would you do, Randy, if you were not acting?
That's a good question. That's a good question because I went to university for business, and I would what I would love to do, of course, everybody wants to be a rock star, right? Like, I just haven't committed to that. But maybe a Hall & Oates cover band. I don't know. No, I would probably be in some form of business. I thought about as I get older, maybe doing real estate as well. I'm looking at that potentially because as you get older, certain kinds of roles kind of there are fewer and fewer roles as you get older and older and older. But I love what I do, and so it's that, and get into producing them. Like I really need to start writing and producing and creating those roles, like we were saying about where I could possibly be the lead in my own Hallmark movie, where a series, like, you look at what's a lot of the Hallmark movies are doing now, like the murder mysteries, and the super sleuths and all that, where you see a lot of Hallmark legends are now getting 3 and 4 or 5 picture deals.
Yeah.
And when I worked with Danica McKellar, she reminds me a lot of where Kayla's going, because Danica is a sweetheart and super professional, super prepared.
Oh yeah.
And, we talked with her.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
The focus is crazy good.
Oh yeah. No. She's a star. She's a legend. Yep. She's worth everything she earns. She's earned everything she's ever gotten, and she's worth it. Like, she's like, again, and when I worked with her, she could easily have been aloof, and we had a blast. I mean, if anybody wants to see those kind of scenes, they can go onto my IMDb. I have all those kind of things on my IMDb page and stuff. But and Kayla, like I said, that's how I felt about Kayla. I thought of that when I was working with her, was that she's as professional. She's just a little younger, and she's going to grow and learn, and it's just an honor to be a part of that growth. And I'd work with either of them anytime. Like, just absolute pleasure.
We've really enjoyed meeting people like you and seeing them. I work in a completely different industry, and so I take my people that I work with, and I how do I see them, and how do I see them applying that? So where are those people? Where are my people? And so I feel like it's like, oh, you are my people. You're just someplace else.
Yeah.
Right. And so I love watching that. Danica McKellar actually tracked us down to go live before her movie, which was very fun.
Well, sort of.
Well, yeah. I mean, she just messaged us. She's like, "Can we do a podcast? Yeah. Can we do this live?" And then we're like, "We just go on Instagram."
Well, we were really helping promote that movie, and she was on top of it, just like Lacey was for The Wedding Veil. Like, very aware of who's posting their stuff and what's being said about them, and they just totally focused on what's going on around them. Yeah.
But we see that with you too. When we're on or posting things about you, you are always aware. We see that from our side too. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch that play out a little bit. This was something we kind of just jumped into, but to see
it's great.
What's happening is very interesting, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's great what you're doing, and that's why I'll always be here for you. And it's an absolute pleasure. And yes, Stephanie, I would absolutely love to direct as well.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy that. I do that a lot with other actors who I'll help. Like, when we audition now, everything's pretty much on self-tape now because of COVID and everything. So, I have my own setup. So I've helped other actors, and I enjoy that. My fiance is actually very good at helping me. That's probably the only time she ever gets mad at me, is when I'm not taking direction very well. No, it's great. And so I would love
you're kind of living a Hallmark movie in your own life, so why couldn't you be on screen doing that too? I feel like you need to do that.
Exactly. And listen, I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be following their dreams. I want everybody, even if you're not on TV, do community theater, or do, just have some fun. We're not going to be here forever, as much as we'd love to, but and have some fun. Look at William Hurt, who passed away this week. I worked with him once. I was young, very young, one of my first credits, and I was with him and Catherine Deneuve. I have 3 words or 4 words, I think I say, when we're crossing the street, something like that. And but those are the things you remember, right? When somebody like that, a legend, passes away, and the people you work with, and the people that you hope you make people smile, and you know, it's that old Maya Angelou saying, right? People will forget what you say, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And so I just want people to feel good. Feel good if they're around me. I want people to feel comfortable and happy and inspired, and you know, I want people to follow. You know, like dreams come in all shapes and sizes, and none are better. You know, not one's better than another, and it's just an issue of, you know, be happy and, you know, push yourself a little bit. You know, we're not too old to start something different. I'm not saying drop everything you got. I'm saying, you know, if somebody wants to act, and yeah, get involved in some community theater or put on a play, or just even take an acting class.
Mm-hmm.
To all of you out there who think what we do is cool, just go take an acting class and have some fun. Like, even if you don't plan on ever auditioning for a role or anything like that, but just go take an acting class and just know what it's like to be surrounded. Like what our world was like, especially when we first started, was that our acting classes were everything, you know.
Right.
So that's what I'm just trying to say to you and to Julie, is to try something different, like, or add, like, go experience what we do. If since you think it's so cool, then go ahead. Yeah.
You know, what you're saying reminds me a lot of what Paul Green said on our podcast.
Who?
Julie, how did Paul Green?
Yeah.
He said,
I know Paul Green,
and not a butt life, right? Like,
Yeah.
He's called you Liza. That's my daughter's name. Julie, is that what he said? Live an and life.
Yes,
and
live an
life,
and
right?
life. You know,
so don't say like, I can't do this, you know, or I could do this, but it's say like, I could do this and do it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
He said, do only things that make you feel happy or something like that too. And I said, I did change that. I said fulfilled, because what I do isn't always fit happy, but it's incredibly fulfilling. So,
well, yeah, like, you know, we all have responsibilities and things we have to do, and, you know, like, I still do commercials, and not that I find them bad. But I mean, of course, I'd rather only do, you know, lead roles, but sometimes I'm a star, other times I'm a team player, and I'm absolutely fine with that. That's life. I mean, and that's life for most actors. You know, I'm very honored and proud to be able to say I earn a living doing what I love. Mm-hmm. But again, it's not always my favorite thing, but I do work in the business that I love. And that's, you know, like I said, it's, you know, it's not always the exact role or the type of job that I want, but I work in the industry I love. And here I am, you know, having I'm just so thrilled to be able to talk to you. I mean, I can chat with people, because it's nice to know that, like, what we do is done in seclusion, and then now this is where we get to really reap the benefits of interaction, because theater gives you that right away, right? You have that instant gratification, or not. Sometimes you don't want to get tomatoed, but you know, you have that, the energy of the people being there, whereas we live in a world where it's crew members standing there holding a light, and it's somebody else, you know, holding an electrical cord or a prop, or waving at you, you know, that you're waving, you got to hit your mark, and there's tape everywhere, and you know. But then we get to come here like this, right? And it's beautiful, and, you know, just, man, like, we've all gone through so much in the last few years, you know, like, look at what we've learned, right? And you talk about how things that we're doing now with Hallmark, stuff like that, are more important than ever, because we've that sense of community has been severely attacked in the last couple of years, and like, we've lost friendships, we've lost time with our family, we've lost family members, some people, and it's, you know, we got to get back. We got to make a little bit of extra effort, you know, to smile more, and, you know, cut people some slack, but also, you know, like, because people are healing, and some people are still afraid, and some people are like, still trying to find our way back. So we've got to be more tolerant, but we also have to be more pushy in the sense of push that smile out more, or say hi to somebody when you walk by in the street or in the morning. And if they don't say hi back, that's okay. And, it's just like we got to get back, like, hey, everybody, we're all here. We're not,
right.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to get too philosophical, but it's just, we got to bring that love back. And that's one thing that I can say that, Hallmark has always done. It's always, been there for that solid, whether you're religious or not, it's family. And, because even the church has taken a beating in the last, while. And, it's, the core is still there, but again, it's everybody, it's kind of funny. Everybody's going through something. It's been one heck of a few years. And,
right.
We got to bring it back, like remember what's important, and give that little bit of extra love whenever you can.
I agree.
Yeah, we appreciate being able to watch a movie that can give us a kind of a safe space to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people choose them. Sometimes you you need a safe space. Sometimes you just want a safe space. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Just like, again, my fiance is like that too. She'll some nights if I want to watch a drama, she's like, I can't take that right now. And 3 runs of Seinfeld.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on our podcast.
I think our tech person is making a lot of noise in the background.
I know. I think Sarah's locked up, so we're gonna lose her. Well, anyways, we appreciate having you come on our podcast so much. We very much enjoyed talking to you. We'd love to have you come back again.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime. Thank you.
Is Sarah coming back? We maybe have her back a little bit.
Yeah, I think she's looking for her internet there.
Yeah, she's struggling. But we absolutely loved having you on here. We love getting to talk to you about your journey. We'd love to talk to you about things you have coming in the future. If you ever want to come back on again, you got something, reach out, or we'll probably chase you down.
Either way, I promise you, I'll either respond or I'll probably find you first. But
well,
reach out anytime.
We're pretty all over your stuff too.
Great.
But when we sign out here, hang on for a second, and Catherine will pull us out to the back, okay?
Yeah.
And we'll say thanks everybody for joining us on Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast, and we'll see you next time. Bye.